Jenkins, would you like to go on a tangent comparing Snapfire Ags to Pudge Ags?
Oh, don't even get me started on this.
Because I'd like to hear this again, if
What
possible.
is this bullshit adding? They add this Pudge Eggs. Oh my god, finally, a positive change to Pudge.
A unique change.
For once, we'll just go ahead and add it to the new hero that's already fucking broken.
And then let him launch.
Yeah, that's great.
And let
That'll be
him
good for
launch them
Pudge.
2,000 units.
Now, here's the question. Before they put Snapfire in, was Pudge Ags even good?
No. No, they just
So what
added
do
a
you
better
mad about?
version on the new character that's already good and everybody plays.
Yeah, but that's a good thing because now they're going to end up changing it at some point, right?
To be fair,
Can we-
Snapfire Ags is not the problem. The Pudge Ags is the problem. Snapfire Ags is one of the funnest items in the game, I think.
So what
It's
would you...
super fun.
Pudge Ags. Your Ice Frog. Next patch. What do you got for me?
You can
Are you
throw.
gonna, I know what's coming.
Don't laugh at this.
I don't mind. I think it's fine.
You can throw flesh heaps and put the current level of rot on the ground, and if you kill somebody in it, you get the flesh heap stack back +1.
So you give up a flesh heap stack to put a rot on the ground.
Maybe if it's
at a like certain duration, I assume. Does
Yeah.
not stack with rot.
Yeah, maybe if it's an Ags, just make rot throwable.
What's going on?
in the
Ooh.
draft or in
Yeah,
what's
in the
going on with us
draft.
here?
That's interesting.
Is this like an IO draft? How crazy would
Io's
that be?
still in the pool.
Is IO's not a Costa Bile hero? There's no way.
No,
Costa Bile is
no
one of
way.
the most like AFK farming
Yes,
carries I've ever seen.
He hits creeps.
If he's on your see, that's the thing though. I don't mind being on a team in a pub with a guy like that, because if Costa Bile's on my team, I know he's picking PL, I know he's picking TB, I know he's picking Troll and buying a Battle Fury, and he's gonna hit some creeps.
Yeah,
he's gonna hit up the dudes.
If you're running around,
I know
killing people,
exactly what I'm getting out
dying,
of him.
you know he's gonna
You turn around, he's 6-slotted by 35 minutes. You know it. You know it's going to be the case.
For sure.
Even if it's not my ideal playstyle, I don't love it. But if I know I'm going to get it, it's easy to predict, easy to itemize, pick heroes with.
Oh yeah.
I'm never going to pick a farming offlaner when I got Costa Bile
come
on my
on.
team.
No, farming offlaner. Like, what carry player would you pick a farming offlaner with? I feel like in NA, there's so many.
Well, in NA
farming
specifically,
carries.
you never get to
NASA.
pick offlane farming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we
that's true.
have any actual like active carries? I guess Moo could. Moo
There
would
it
do
is.
when he was playing carry.
I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about this Pudge flesh heap.
By the way, Shadow Demon is insanely good against Abaddon. Not
Well,
only good with Mirana,
You know,
but
here's the thing though.
very good against
the
Abaddon.
I don't give a damn about that purge if I'm Abaddon in this game, because all I want to do is I'm turning around and I'm gonna purge you. You want to put an RP on my guy? I'm gonna purge myself.
You realize
and
that
then purge
all
him.
you do is disrupt Abaddon, and then he silences himself for the rest of the fight?
Say what?
You just disrupt
In
the
my
Abaddon.
opinion, could you repeat that for me?
You just disrupt the Abaddon, and then
Okay.
he silences himself with his own illusions for literally the entire
Doesn't that
fight.
take a while to
Yeah, but then
actually
Shadow
No,
occur,
it's
though?
because it's 4 attacks, but you have 2 illusions, so it's just 2 attacks from each illusion, and then
Oh, they stack on. Okay, I see.
yeah, and then they just reapply
Ah.
it over and over again.
That is
Okay.
annoying. I'm actually having.
It's actually a terrible matchup.
I think what's happened.
I hope they make it Abaddon 5.
I think what's happened is that for me, it's been a very traumatic thing, and so it's been internalized and pushed deep down, and now I'm remembering. It is very annoying actually to deal with this guy.
I was struggling for a while to pick offlaners against Shadow Demon because, like, usually Shadow Demons combine with like a Lesher or Murano where they set up this ridiculous kill combo. So I wanted to pick saves, and then Abaddon's just so bad. And then you don't want to pick Legion because he disrupts your duels, and then Omni Knight's like not a hero. So I'm like, how do you pick against this Shadow Demon crap? I usually prefer just like some stunner, like a Sand King or something that like is a line stun.
So they did get rid of a couple of people that could make use of the Empower, and they pick a troll.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a, you know,
Costa
deleting a
Bile
pick, as it
special.
were. I mean, there's still plenty in the pool, though, like you said. What do you think of troll in this game?
It goes along with the pace of the game they've got established. It's a very fast-paced, tower-taking, objective-taking, Roche-taking carry.
It's a status resist guy too against these like heavy stunners. I think.
I was gonna say they're just gonna pick Sven because that's like the be-all end-all.
How is this hero
meta
still in the
hero.
pool? I feel like it's picked almost every game.
In NA specifically, it's always picked. I actually nominate this hero for banning in pubs about 80% of my games. Just ban Sven.
He does seem to always get to his timings, doesn't he?
God. The funny thing about it was when I was in EU, I never saw this hero. I tried it like 3 times and nobody stacks. So I was just like, oh,
Interesting.
well, this hero's not that great. But in NA, supports are like so used to having nothing to do that they just stack all the time.
They're bored, yeah.
But the thing is now, EU's actually started doing the whole 5-position mag. NA's done it too. But so those 5-position mags actually spend their entire time stacking, which in this case it looks like it is a core mag. The problem with core mag for me is that it doesn't really make any space, and Sven also needs space. So I'm curious to see Whisper's adaptation of core mag, because
my gut says it's Chris Luck mag. I know that's a little too
what about
far
Chris
me,
Luck
but-
Shadow Demon? We've seen it.
Oh, that's true.
We've seen
That's
it.
true.
We've seen it. Not saying it's like in my opinion, it's a lane-winning game, losing mid laner, but you know.
I mean, that's an old school Shadow Demon mid. That when he was first introduced in Dota 1, he was a mid hero. Crapped on everybody.
Yeah, his laning stage is insanely strong. It's just like he doesn't scale as a mid laner because he never becomes like survivable or like elusive or anything.
Not great at ganking. Not that.
His Ags is like the only thing that makes him scale, and it's like mediocre.
It's pretty mediocre.
You think his Ags
Well,
is
for
mediocre?
like a mid laner.
For a mid laner's
okay.
impact, his Ags is actually a pretty good Ags.
It's a good Ags.
But like in terms of a mid laner's impact, I don't like it. So what are they gonna do
So let's see.
on the side of Beast Coast? They need some space making. They need an astronaut for their team.
They really need some space. They need like a. If it's mid, they need like a spirit. If it's offline.
Well, there's at least 3 spirits are banned, so
Oh,
it's only Earth
there's-
Spirit that
there's-
remains.
Okay.
That is not what I would
Just-
envision as a space maker.
Well,
Okay.
he's like a demonic spirit, so.
But he's not a space maker.
He is not. He is definitely not. This is going to be some like very evasive maneuvers from Beast Coast for at least 10-15 minutes, unless
Yule's
they dump on the
SF
lane.
is insanely good against Troll Abaddon. I will say that. Abaddon and Troll are both completely owned by Yule Scepter. So I will say that the one thing I don't like about Troll Abaddon is that they are both countered by Yule Scepter. I've seen this in my games.
Ooh, we saw this banned so often before this. I didn't even realize it was still in the pool.
If I didn't know what teams they were, I would heavily favor Team Brazil's draft.
But you're still going Beast Coast.
You know what? That's boring. I'll go Team Brazil.
All right, Jenkins.
I can't. I gotta go Beast Coast. I gotta go with the gut.
All
the
right,
old gut.
1 for 1. We'll see what ends up being. We'll take a quick break, and then into the casters we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monster Energy Dota Summit 13 online. Really exciting match coming up here. We've got Beast Coast versus Team Brazil. These teams played a lot of the group stages, so I'm really interested to see if they're going to bring anything new. And, you know, we're seeing some classic favorites coming out here. We've got, of course, you know, the Sven picked up for Ektor, and a little bit of interesting moves here with the, you know, Abaddon getting picked up over on Brazil. But hey, lizZard, it's been a while. Are you excited to cast some SA Dota?
Yep, it's 12:30 here, half past midnight in Kyiv, Ukraine, and I haven't casted in a while. And I have to say, like, I'm excited. These drafts look like you said. One draft is very stable. Like you kind of have a general idea of what's happening. Brazil, however, I don't know where this is going.
That's the fun of SA Dota, my friend, is that you're never quite sure where you're gonna head out, but gonna head everybody out to the lanes. I will say that I'm a little nervous, you know, every time I watch Chris Luck on the Shadow Fiend, he gets ganked nonstop and he becomes a non-factor.
Okay, so in this game, there's not really a lot of ganking potential in Brazil. You do have the Furion, the Nature's Prophet that can TP and mess with Chris Luck, but besides that, like, he really has to be out of position on SF to die on mid to any ganks. We'll see how it goes.
It does look like, KJ is going to be playing as that position 5. I heard during the draft that BSJ is not a fan of the position 5 Nature's Prophet. And I do agree that at times it can be very, very overwhelming. I feel like sometimes you're just, moving wards around and just trying to get vision, and that's about all you're good for. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'll tell you something. I felt the same way like BSJ. And then one night I was in a room with Big Daddy No Tail, and we were talking about position 5 Furion, and I asked him, do you really think that it's that good? He answered, I don't think I know it's that good, so I'm gonna stick with the TI winner.
Yeah, how do you doubt that? Oh, nice step though here on the bottom lane. Looks like Stinger's still most likely dead here, so he's getting chased down by King RD. That cookie hop doing the trick. One more hit, and there it is. Flea gets himself the first blood.
Well, that's a nice start.
It's a very nice start for sure.
It's a nice start besides the fact that he's out of mana, and what happens to mid lane now? This is like awkward. He's actually already denied one creep on the mid lane. Zeus is TPing in with no mana. Like, I'm not sure that was worth it. Like, that might not even be worth it for them.
No, I think it would have been a little bit more worth it if 4DR had gotten the last hit.
Yeah, at least if that happened.
But Lee, that's a thing with Francis Lee. That's something I've always noticed, is that he likes to play very, very greedy. And I mean, it would have been pretty difficult for 4DR to get the final hit anyways, I think, but definitely
he's sending
himself.
He's sending himself one mango, I believe, and there's a bottle coming in a different courier. Do you see this on the mid lane?
Yeah, I'm guessing, did they buy him a bottle? It looks like Granny's sending him a little treat. Nothing like a little care package from, your grandma.
Did actually Granny bind him? Did Flea buy him a bottle? That's some next level. I want to have this
apology,
guy.
Dude. He's like, sorry, I took the last hit. Here you go.
Yeah, it is. It's Flea's.
Oh, the courier though. Oh,
miss.
That's lucky.
Damn, Chris Luck thought that he had this lane, that it's like literally over, and then he misses the courier and he sees a gifted bottle to the Zeus. This mid lane just became a completely different story, I think.
This is actually pretty smart coming out here, down with you've got the Shadow Demon, right? Facing off with the Abaddon, just making those illusions to force it back upon the Abaddon. Something I hadn't considered actually during the draft.
It's pretty good, and it's still one of those heroes that has a passive that works with illusions, Abaddon. So if you create them against him, it still works, and you get that silence.
Now look at that. That's actually so smart coming out from the side of East Coast. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Like, we weren't sure if Diaba will be a core or not at the beginning of the game, but Shadow Demon, obviously, in the laning stage, at least, can work quite well against him if you go for this disruption build. If you go for Shadow Poison, however, it's kind of bad, so he'll have to go this route on this lane.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense with the Aphotic Shield. I'm surprised though. I thought, I've seen King RD. I guess that, this makes sense in terms of laning too. Having, KJ on this Nature's Prophet, just having that little bit of extra range is probably really nice. And then, of course, being able to kind of move around for the ganks. But it does seem a little bit weird. I'm wondering if the Abaddon pickup was just because of the fact that they know that Ektor likes to run this a lot, and they just want to take it away from him.
It could be that, but it also could be the fact that you have a troll, and whenever you have some sort of a saving capability on your team, it just makes the troll so much stronger, right? Like any Omni Knights, Dazzles, Abaddons, they've always been a good combo with the troll. It might be a bit hard in this game though, because he's dealing versus a Shadow Demon, like right now.
I mean, we talked about that during the draft too, the fact that, okay, that's really cute, you throw out the Troll ultimate. Stinger's just gonna be able to walk away here. Easy peasy. Ektor needs to be a little bit careful though. No, it looks like he's absolutely fine. He's gonna get healed up with the salve. But yeah, you pop that Troll ultimate and all of a sudden you just find yourself in a bubble and there's nothing that your Abaddon can do. He can't save you from that. So it is gonna be a little bit of a difficult Troll game. It's something that Kostabile really likes. But again, not the most comfortable.
Yeah. I have to say that Whisper with his 16 CS so far is doing pretty well on top lane. I thought that it might be a little bit harder for him because... Oh, mid lane. There you go.
Down he goes.
Securing runes is so game-winning for your mid laner. And Nature's Prophet really excels as that, because he can be at either rune, right? He can TP to one at any given point and help you out. SF, obviously, without boots, he comes to the river and he just falls so easily to the nukes and control.
For sure, and you saw that there was a little bit of a rotation here coming out from Schofield, but they were just a little bit ahead of the curve there, so definitely, you know, this is problematic for Shadow Fiend, you know, not the end of the world for sure, but you definitely would like to be able to go pick up those ruins without having any issues of getting ganked.
The problem is it gives 4DR a little bit more, right? Because he not only was given that bottle at the beginning, he was a part of the First Blood, he's winning the CS war on mid lane, and now he gets a kill too.
Well, they gotta be careful here. Stinger taking a lot of damage. He silenced up, gets taken down by King RD. So those bounty runes in the bottom area are gonna be able to get picked up by Team Brazil.
At one point, if you are K1, if you're Hector, I think you just resolve to doing exactly this. You just farm the jungle. You don't really have to pressure this lane way too much, because they do outscale you a little bit at this point when they get to their levels, the damage, so you're not really farming the lane creeps at all. Yeah, you can see it. He's just abandoning, running for the courier, perhaps the small camp. That's it. This bottom lane is pretty much over right now for Beast Coast.
Haven't talked much about this top lane though, where Whisper seems to be having a pretty decent time.
Arrow mid, missed.
4DR goes with the ultimate. Looks like they'll be able to collect the kill over on the Shadow Demon. Now Schofield forced to leap away. Chris Luck, he wants this kill, but Schofield goes down to flee. Can he get the final hit over here onto Adriana? Yes, he'll be able to find it, but at the cost of losing several of those supports here.
Yeah, that was really good from Chris Luck. The way Zeus tried to shoot him, and the fact that he didn't fall for it on SF, and the way he raised, that was just so good. I enjoyed that play quite a bit from him. Even though they missed the arrows and everything, he was like hasted, arcane ruined, he's just coming. He wanted that kill.
Might want to take a look at the messages when you get a moment there. lizZard Productions trying to tell you something there.
All right. Turn off open mic in game. Oh.
Just some fun, you know, tech issues while we're doing remote stuff, guys.
It's hard.
Man, I miss land.
Yep. Well,
I'm sure everybody does, though.
Soon.
Soon enough. Lee going for the cookie hop. He wants his final hit on Stinger. Looks like he'll be able to grab it. And King RD is forced back.
Yeah, it's really hard for them to stick around this tier 1. At this point, you have to decide if you're going to commit more heroes into defending it, more cores, or if you will relegate your carry to the jungle and perhaps your midder can either pressure mid lane or go for their tier 1. You need to decide which trade you're going to make. And it's again a problem because you're playing versus an Nature's Prophet. Like, I understand how some players might find this hero not strong, but strategically, it just allows your team to do so many things. So I find it really strong.
Definitely feels like, you know, being able to take any sort of objectives after fights and having that global sort of teleportation is really good. But you have to also keep in mind, too, you've got King RD down here. Oh, Cookie Hop just a little bit off the mark. Carefully, still looking for an opening. It's going to force Schofield back. Pressure is on down here on this bottom tower, though.
It's kind of similar story to Mirana, right? There's a lot of players that really hate to see a Mirana in their pubs, but this hero does so much. If nothing, if you just arrow the Kartis on every successive wave, right? Like you just slow down the enemy's push so much. You don't even need a Shadow Demon to set things up, which they will on the bottom lane.
Well, they'll turn their attention to KJ, and they miss the arrow here. Schofield has to be careful. He took so much damage from Snapfire. Kisses getting tossed out. This is not looking good for Schofield as they have the vision. It looks like King RD. Oh, no, it's going to be Flea again who grabs the final hit for that kill. And this is definitely a tower going over to the side of Brazil. They've got a nice lead here. They're just taking away some of that jungle from them.
I was a little bit surprised that they didn't try to just trade, but Zeus mid.
Oh, he's got his eyes over here. Whisper goes for the RP. He's looking just to skewer him up and doesn't quite manage to get him over onto that cliff like he wants. These trees, Cookie hop forward, will be able to go and stun. Schofield joining in, but it's too late. Flea's already collected the kill. Man, this guy is just on fire today.
Oh no, that was so unfortunate. Like, you could see that he wanted that Zeus, but they don't truly have the damage, so he decides to put him on a cliff. Even that fails.
Yeah, that feels bad.
Oh, arrow?
And
That's...
this is a little bit better going over the side of beastcoast. Stinger, though, is getting slowed down by Flea. They'll back off. And they'll go for the Moonlight Shadow here. Got the
It's
10-minute
just for the
runes coming up.
bounties, yeah. He managed to snatch the one that Flea was going for. That's about it. And what's Chris Luck doing? He's actually going for Yules. I like this a lot. They need someone active in this mid game. They need someone that can pretty much blow up heroes, because if you're fighting these slow, constant fights, like long engagements aren't going to work out for you, because you're playing versus an Abaddon. And you're playing versus so much damage that comes over time from Zeus. So I think something like Yules is really good.
I was
Plus troll,
interested when
right?
I saw the Shadow Fiend for sure, because this is definitely one of those heroes that generally when I see it being played, especially by Chris Luck, he likes to farm. He's not super active, and this patch especially, I feel that you need to have someone who's making those moves in the mid lane. That's going to be creating the tempo. And generally, when again I see the Shadow Fiend, I'm thinking, okay, is that really the right choice here? Because I feel like the Zeus does so much more over on the side of Brazil. It really kind of starts to make space, and that's a big deal for Beast Coast, right? Is the fact that Hector is the beating heart of this team. It's very important that he's able to find his farm, and he is. He's sitting at 5k net worth currently, but Gustabile not far behind.
So it's easy to start thinking like that. Okay, SF versus Zeus. Zeus can do more when you look at the games such as this one. But SF as well, if he gets a good start, if he gets his items on time, maybe a little bit sooner earlier than he is getting them right now, he can be that force that just makes plays everywhere across the map and gets your team together and takes towers, takes objectives, creates more space. The problem in this game is that Zeus was given a bloody bottle on the mid lane.
Yeah.
And then you die on the rune as well to the Nature's Prophets rotating. So I still think that he should be doing a little bit more, perhaps playing on the enemy side of the map, not in his own jungle. But he's in a scary spot in which he can't really afford to make any more mistakes. So he's playing it a little bit safe, getting that Yules, and after that I believe we'll see him rotating across the map trying to make moves.
I don't think I've ever seen Flea actually buy his Mida bottle. I think that was very surprising to everyone. But like you said, it really just gave him a great advantage here, and it's really paying off dividends.
But it was really about that fact that Zeus used all his mana. If he doesn't get that bottle, he outright just loses that lane. He lost his range creep as well before he came to mid lane. Without that bottle, that lane would go 100% to SF.
Oh, looks like Hector's back in the triangle, doing what Hector does best, just hitting up creeps. And I am glad to see that, he has opted to go for this Echo Saber. So many times I've seen him, going on these heroes that he picks, like, the Chaos Knight, and he goes for a Midas, and it's just, he can't do enough in the time that's allotted with that particularly. He can't fight, they take the advantage, so...
Yeah, if you get ancient stacks as well, you pop that God Strength, you don't even have to fight. Like, look at him right now. He popped the God Strength and he just went into the triangle, farmed it up. So it can kind of alleviate the fact that you're not getting that extra experience from Midas and extra gold. And it allows you to fight. I like this build. I prefer it overall too, I have to say, because Midas, like you said, puts you puts your team in an awkward spot in which they know for sure that they don't have a position 1 for the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Like, they are trying to make some moves over here in the mid lane. They've already thrown out the Snapfire Kisses, but they didn't quite connect. So, pressure getting placed over on this mid tower. You can see the TP coming out here from the Nature's Prophet. Hector's going to be a little bit careful here. Cookie out forward, though, over onto Chrisluck. Can they blow him up fast enough? And yes, they'll be able to take him down. Hector forced to run away. Whisper looking for this opening as they try to go into the back lines over onto 4DR. And it looks like they're going to be able to go to get the RP off, and they'll be able to take 2 of them down. 4DR is down. King RD looks like Flea's going to be next on the list. And only KJ and Costabile are gonna be left alive. They use the Moonlight Shadow, though. Looks like Schofield wants this kill on the Nature's Prophet. Is he gonna be able to find it? He's looking for an arrow. He's gonna try to blind throw it out. Doesn't quite manage to connect it. Stinger throwing out some of that poison.
Oh, he gets
But
him,
down
actually.
he goes.
I was about to flame Stinger that instead of running in under Moonlight Shadow and just disrupting the Prophet, he's trying to land those poisons, but he managed to land quite a few and he gets the kill in the end. That fight looked so bad for Beast Coast. Like, SF TPs and just dies straight away. But he bought enough time for Whisper to come in, to use that RP on 2 most important targets. Abaddon without an ulti plus Zeus, they clear both of them and they win a fight, but they might still lose tier 1.
They used everything, and now it's very, very difficult for them to get back in. Yeah, they just, down it goes. And there's really nothing that Beast Coast can do about it.
Yep, you didn't even have the souls on SF because he just died in that last fight, right? So Chrisluck really isn't happy. This isn't where you want to be as an SF that's supposed to be playmaking and leading your team. And the map is shrinking. Meanwhile, they're taking 0 tier 1 so far. Heck, they didn't even... Okay, top tier 1 might fall to creeps very soon. But that's not really it. That's not good enough.
No, they need to get more, and especially with these 2 towers taken on the side of Radiant. They're losing so much of their map control right now, and that's very important, especially when you consider the fact that Chrisluck is, you know, not where he wants to be. He's not able to make these plays. Granted, he's still sitting pretty on, you know, the net worth. He's sitting second next to Hector, but Hector really needs all of the space. And if you have 2 people sitting in the jungle, able to quite do that. Whisper grabs up the Invis rune.
You have the Troll as well on one side, right? If you look at Troll, if you look at Costabile, he's also going for a Battle Fury, so he's not really contributing to his side way too much either. Basically, the driving force of Team Brazil right now is the Abaddon. It's basically King RD. Where he goes, the team follows.
Thunder God's Wrath being thrown out. Just doing a little bit of scouting here.
And they tried to kill off Mirana. They even used Nature's Prophet ulti there, but he just got his ulti off and he went into Moonlight.
Bottom lane, Chrisluck gets a nice pick off on Costabile. He did not expect to see him there.
Top lane.
And a whole other fight with those Mortimer Kisses getting tossed out. Stinger trying to run away. Looks like he's gonna survive this. And that's gonna be the Snapfire ultimate down. Mirana, Cookie Hop coming out. Oh, at the last second tries to get the leap out, but he's not going to be able to. King RD closing the gap. Gets himself a kill. They'll smoke up, though, over on the side of Beast Coast. They did just finish up the BKB over here onto Hector. Stinger going to throw out some of these illusions, try to get a little bit more vision.
There's a smoke on Magnus, and he does have a Blink Dagger, but King RD doesn't have ulti, but they need an additional hero. They need either the Sven or the SF to be able to kill either one of these 2.
Yeah, Whisper can get the RP of his life, but if they don't have the damage to follow it up, it's not going to do a whole heck of a lot.
Also remember that Hector, uncharacteristic to him, he went for this Echo and BKB, and he's ready to fight. Like, I told you about the Doom that I had in a game previously, today actually, that went 0-4-4 without skilling Doom ever, going Radiance, Battle Fury, Midas. It was the most disgusting thing ever.
And it made you think of Hector.
Yeah,
when he played his
made me...
Doom.
I was literally just thinking about Hector the whole game after that, because he probably made this guy try out this build. This is something completely opposite. This Sven is ready to fight, so we should see him engage in the next couple of skirmishes.
And I like this. I feel like this is really important because generally, you know, Hector just sits back, he fights, you know, they try to make space. Generally, Schofield's generally the one throwing his body at everyone, but this time, you know, he's in better shape, so they can try to fight early, because that's something that Team Brazil likes to do. In fact, we're getting that TP down to the bottom lane. Hector looking like he wants to defend this tower. Doesn't have the rest of his team here, though, so has to be a little bit careful.
The same can be said for Adriano, for 4DR. If you look at him, he went for a Blink Dagger. So we're seeing some very, very active builds coming out from Zeus and from the Sven. And what this Blink Dagger allows Zeus to do is to be constantly in these fights early on and not be afraid of, I don't know, some Magnus catching him with a Blink Dagger, because he can be the one that stops that Blink Dagger from happening.
Mm-hmm. Playing with King RD a little bit down here. I'm not sure they're going to be able to quite get that kill, considering that he does have his ultimate readily available. Okay, not just going to go right past him. But you know who's not is going to be Hector, who immediately they turn around, they go for the God Strength, they realize, all right, his ultimate's down. King RD, you are so dead here. One more hit should do the trick, and Hector selects
Look at mid lane. Costabile.
To be like, oh, Chris Luck, he didn't think that he would be here, but there he is. Needs to get a couple more of these raises, and that's just a nice solo pick-off. Even goes now, pops the double damage, and I have a feeling that they're going to be looking for something else here.
This Mirana SF combo is scary. He bought the Seals, he doesn't have any sort of mobility item besides that, no blink, no travels, nothing, but Mirana ulti is allowing him now twice to kill off the troll.
Chris Luck popping that haste. And poor KJ, there's nothing that he can just try to play Ring Around the Rosie here, but they'll find the kill. Hector didn't even need to throw out that Stormhammer.
Yeah, they're just finding ways to fight, and they are ready to fight because of the BKB on Sven and the BKB on SF as well.
Forget the BKB, dude. He's got an Ag Scepter.
And the Nags on top of that. Yeah, I didn't even see, like, didn't I tell you that he finished BKB like 2 minutes ago? This hero is so stupid. Like, can we nerf Sven a little bit? It's not. To be frank, it's not only the Sven. It's the fact that he has Magnus on his side, to empowering him the whole time.
Oh,
You can't leave this triangle to him. He disappears in that triangle, comes out after 5 minutes with 3 extra items.
Well, what seemed really interesting is the fact that usually I feel like most teams, they're hyper aware of the fact that once you reach, oh gosh, all right, this is not looking like Flea's gonna survive. It's already used that cookie, couple more hits, and that's another kill for Chris Luck. They'll bubble up the Sabaton too. So wait for a little bit longer here, and he's gonna try to fight his way through, but it's not looking great for him. They'll just sit there, they'll watch him. Have to be careful of the silence. In comes the Sven, he's got the Ags like we said, so he's just gonna slice King RD into ribbons. That's gonna open up this tower. Whisper does spend a little time in the trees. He's gonna jump forward. The BKB is completed now over here onto Chris Luck. They're just trying to put as much damage over onto Costabile as possible. Can they burst it out fast enough? It's looking like maybe they can, but the bubble comes out. We talked about this, Lizard. What can you do when you're in a bubble? This looks very bad for Costabile. He will go down as the BKB got popped. And I'm sure they just turn their attention right back around here to this tower. Except they don't have creep, so that is, you know, a saving grace here.
Like, on one side you have a core that already has a built-in cleave, being additionally buffed up by Empower from Magnus. On the other side you have a troll.
Uh-oh. King RD, oof. I feel like he just came back to life, although they do manage to go and get the kill on Chris Luck. So they don't have to worry about that SF, but they do have to worry about Flea here, who's just a little bit too far forward. Hector's on a killing spree.
Yeah, that was a dieback, by the way. He came back to life quite a while ago. Abaddon bought back to protect the troll in that mid-game engagement, and now he died again. So this Abaddon, who's the focal point of Team Brazil, he really needs to be the one up front, the one that soaks in all the attention, saves the troll, saves the Zeus. He just died back.
This is looking like KJ. Oh, just barely manages to teleport out. I'm a little surprised by that.
For the hunt.
There's Roche. Like, the world is a platter for Beast Coast right now. They can do whatever they want to, because Troll doesn't have that BKB. Until he farms the BKB up, there's literally no way for Brazil to fight.
I imagine it's gonna be so hard for Costabile, because you talked about it. You know, we have Sven. He's got Cleave built in. You've got a Magnus with the Empower, and he just farms so fast, and they didn't put any pressure on Hector. After a certain point, they just let him farm. Yes, they took down these towers early on, right? You know, the mid tower, very important, bottom as well, especially, you know, when you know that Chris Luck wants to be farming up, but there's just nothing that a troll, even with a Battle Fury, can really do in comparison.
And remember, one thing that we talked about during the draft as well is the fact that they have no catch on the side of Brazil. Right? There's literally a cookie for a stun, and that's it.
Oh gosh, again, KJ, not much you can do here, my friend. Down he goes.
Look at the Rosh pit, though. That could be something.
That's, oh wow, boy, I don't know about this. Okay, they go and close up. It does manage to go and grab up the Aegis. They're just gonna wait patiently. Snapfire Kisses get tossed back out. They know that they can take down King RD here, so they go to throw out the bubble. That's a double kill now for Hector, and the arrow comes in. Oh, that's gonna be the Aegis. And I'm thinking he's gonna go down a second time here, lizZard. Yeah, there's just too much damage. They stun him up. They lose Flea on the back lines. The Yule's getting thrown out again. Sabile trying to fight his way through. Chris Luck joins in, and Stinger will be the one who gets the final hit.
Some teams would GG out right now, right here. Like, you go for this attempt to finish off Rosh, like, while they're fighting off the Furion, killing him off while he's baiting. But they still kill you. They take the Aegis, kill you again. It's a rough spot, and it's going to be extremely difficult for Zeus to dish out the amount of damage necessary to win these next fights. He does have an Aghanims, though.
But they have BK, like, the BKBs are online at this point. This is very difficult for 40R to do a whole heck of a lot here.
They want to
They're gonna try to make moves over here into Hector. Go, they drop the Nemesis, he jumps right back in, he's got the BKB like we said,
no.
lizZard. And now he's just gonna TP out, they have nothing that they can do about it, he's gone.
Alright, so he decides to TP out and not, in fact, try and kill off the Zeus. I can respect that, because Abaddon is coming and maybe he shields him, so it's safer to just go back. But at least that's 1 second of that BKB used, so now it's down to 8. It's a small win for Brazil.
Slightly disappointed that he didn't go and divide there.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I see Sven.
I can hear it in your voice.
100%. I'm playing it down with like, okay, Abaddon was coming, but meanwhile in my head it's like heavy metal Arkush.
Yeah, right.
I don't even know, with Cap singing, and I just want him to go divide. BKB almost completed on Costabile, but it's.
That's great that he's got a BKB, but I feel like they just don't have enough damage now too, because when they pop their own BKBs, right, there's so much magic damage coming out from Team Brazil. You've got, you know, the Snapfire Kisses, you've got everything that the Zeus dishes out. If they get the jump on them and they get those BKBs off, they can't do much. And they're big. They're 17k net worth lead at about 25 minutes in. Like,
look at Chris
okay,
Luck,
they might be able to go and blow up Chris Luck. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you're strong, but you're not that strong, sir. Running uphill without any vision at all on the enemy triangle, that's I don't know what that was. That was some crazy play. You'd get pinged the hell out of you in your pubs for doing that.
I guess they're feeling too strong. They'll use the courier though, try to give a little bit of vision here. Scovy making his way over. They'll get that spear forward. And KJ, yes, he did manage to get that that courier, but I don't think he's going to be surviving this. No, not at all. Over on the mid lane here, Hector spotting out King RD. He's gonna wait patiently for that ultimate to be over and then just slap him across the teeth.
How do you feel about Stormhammer dispels enemies' talent?
I think it's stupid.
Is there a single living being that's playing Dota besides all the spammers, obviously, that thinks that talent should be on level 15?
I think even the Sven spammers realize that's stupid, lizZard.
Yeah,
like, let's be really honest here.
It's so stupid. Like, you can't buy an item besides Lotus and Blink versus it. Ghost doesn't work. Glimmer, nothing works. It's just
you gotta time it just right too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh gosh, they just yeeted Costabile out in the middle of everyone. I'm not sure he was quite ready for that. Fleece says, right, get in there and get in there.
So they knew there was no SF around, and also Hector's ulti was wearing off. I think that was a chance for them to fight. Or maybe the chance is coming, because they are smoked up.
Boy. Well, there was a KJ there. It's no longer. Arrow tossed out by the Mirana. Not going to connect with anyone, but gives a little bit of vision. They actually have so much, like, really nice... God, that creep wave just got shredded.
I just find it funny that they smoked up, ran out of their base, and then ran back in with the same smoke. It's like, all right, boys, nothing out there. You know that there's a meme with the cat going out and seeing snow and then just moving back in. That's literally Brazil right now. It's the first time they saw snow.
You feel really bad for the fact that Brazil right now, you know, you've got a new tier of items coming out. They want to get those, but they're really just kind of stuck in their base. They drop the Nimbus, trying to hope that they can get this position 5, and they're not able to.
Maybe.
Night Shadow coming in. They still have some vision over here, but in the back lines, Hector just slices Flea apart here, and he's just gonna man fight him. They go right onto the back lines. Go Stabulate though. He's gonna be able to a little bit. Can't lifesteal fast enough though. Now King RD just left all alone. It's just one lone little Abaddon against the world, and he's not going to survive. This KJ, of course, already just... I feel like every time I look at him, that poor man has been murdered. And just like that, the only one who's alive is Zeus, and what is he going to be able to do about this?
Maybe he'll die as well, Mirana. No,
They found him! You can't hide in the woods. Not from this team. 40 ER. He drops the Nimbus. They go. They use the RP. They just want him dead.
Yeah, that's a wipe. And that's a wrap, perhaps? Yeah, they call it.
Yeah, that's the
it.
GG call.
I like the Zeus's Blink Dagger build versus the Sven as well, because you can dodge the Ags, right? But you just don't have that damage necessary early enough to do anything in this game. And overall, this Troll versus Sven matchup, when you think about it, what hero do you see in every single game right now in the meta? It's the Sven, right? So obviously, the hero that you want on your team is the Sven, not really the Troll. I always thought about it like this. If the Troll has a Magnus on his side, he can match the farming patterns and farming speed of Sven, and then you kind of have the even game. But when you add the Magnus to the Sven, it's just a wash. There's no way you match that farming speed.
Especially when you're dealing with something like Hector, right? Hector and then having the Magnus, and he's already a beast. No pun intended, obviously. But, you know, this guy just absolutely farms like a nightmare if you have no way to deal with it. So kind of what ended up happening, the end game of the story, for sure. But, yeah, that's...
I saw their previous series, and it kind of went the same way. It went 2-0 for Beast Coast. Games were pretty much around the 30-minute mark. I hope Brazil just put up a better fight next time.
Yeah, I felt like this time around, it felt a little bit like Brazil was trying to play Beast Coast Dota. But we do have another game coming up, guys. This is a best of 3, so we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we'll have more of the Monster Energy Summit 13 for you.